Surely for Manchester United, being an away game at Stamford Bridge, just like that midweek game against Villarreal, will be a blessing in disguise. Right, Rishabh? Wait. Sorry, Rishabh, sorry. I made a mistake. It is your favorite Mr. Manchester, Anthony Taylor in charge. You will be feeling at home after all. Fergie time. Fergie time, after all these years, still working its way to glory, right, for Manchester United, making sure that there is basically something happening off the pitch and Anthony Taylor refs the game, right? Welcome back to Almighty Blues FC, a fan channel for all to see. This is the big preview episode. Yes, the big preview for Chelsea against Manchester United that is happening this Sunday. In other words, first, the league leaders of the EPL against 8th. I don't have so many fingers in one hand, but anyway, sorry, Manchester United fans, but yes, 8th. And does that remind something? We played a team which was 8th in their league just a couple days ago in Juventus, and we beat them. Well, we bashed them 4-0. Let's see if it repeats, right? As a Chelsea fan, I would hope so. But before we get into it, let's smash that like button as well as subscribe if you have not. Do consider hitting that bell notification icon. You will know whenever we are live or come up with an upload. It'll be great if you can do so. And yes, thanks for 600 subscribers. Yes, we are there. It is just the first step of many and hoping for the support to continue. And we are for this big preview coming with a great guest. It is Rishabh from the Late Winner Show. Yes, he has been a constant supporter of the channel. The Late Winner Show is a channel that I personally love, and we are really glad to have Rishabh finally on Almighty Blues FC. Rishabh, how are you, mate?
Hello, Ankit. I'm doing well. Thank you so much for inviting me on the Almighty Blues FC. Waited a long time to be on your show, so I'm glad we could make it happen. Yeah, I am Rishabh from the Late Winner Show. We've been doing lots of content on our channel related to the EPL, Bundesliga, Serie A. We also have an audio podcast on your favorite streaming platform. So if you guys want to have a listen to that as well.
Do go through the description as always. The links are there, both of Almighty Blues FC, all the social links, but more importantly, the Late Winner Show. A great channel, like I've been saying. I think they've had great guests on the channel as well, and so on and so forth. So definitely give it a shout as well as subscribe, more importantly, and to us as well. But yes, moving on, Rishabh, I have to definitely ask you to begin with the managerial situation at Manchester United. It's basically a mockery. Manchester United, for sure, like you would agree, have not planned. There has been lack of planning. They have just kind of, moved in terms of the pressure. Once the pressure was on from the fans, they thought, hey, irrespective of the international break just getting over, let's sack Oli. And then they had no one to replace him. And talking about replacements, well, interim manager, obviously it's Michael Carrick, who will be kind of the manager in the dugout for this game on Sunday against Chelsea. But for me, I don't know. Like, even considering Carrick on an interim basis was an option for you, I don't know. Because the fact that it is in fashion, after all, a lot of kind of, old boys, the ex players of certain clubs have been managers of the clubs that they have been representing. But again, I know Koeman and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer were not the young managers, but a lot of young managers have been appointed in the recent past. Of course, we had Lampard, for a good while, and for me, again, he did a decent job considering the scenario, but Pirlo did not do well at Juventus, right? As in, again, Pochettino recently got appointed by PSG, so I think that is something that is in. So Michael Carrick as an interim manager, maybe along with Darren Fletcher, could have been an option. Wouldn't you think so? Because now the talks are about Valverde of the likes, who doesn't know EPL. Like, I don't know if it'll really help, as an interim. Even the Sporting, Sporting Club de Portugal manager is basically touted as possible replacement for just an interim manager.
Yeah, I mean, great question, right? It's the biggest job in world football. Believe it or not, yes, it's the biggest job in world football at the moment. And that's why Pochettino, Eric Ten Hag, all these people are being touted as the next manager for Manchester United. To be very honest, I really don't want Carrick, Fletcher, any of the ex-players of United to be the managers of Manchester United. I really feel the stability that was brought to the club by Ole, and he should have been given that much time. He should have been given those 5-6 months to bring back the stability, build the foundation, whatever he needed in that 6 months. He should have never, ever gotten the job of Manchester United. I feel like with the results that he went on, and he still had, like, even when as a United boss, he went on those winning runs. We all know with that 29-28 unbeaten away run that he had in the Premier League. I always said that it's not going to happen. It's never going to be remaining. He's never going to remain unbeaten when the crowds come back in. It was never going to be that. I saw the performances even during the season, and I felt like, yeah, just because of the fans not being there, I really felt we were able to nick out the results. Yes. So no to your question. I really don't want Fletcher or Carrick to become the interim manager. And talking about interim managers, I do not want any interim managers as well. I feel like United should sit down, figure out and note and note down some of the managers that they are actually wanting to replace at the end of the season. Pay them the compensation that they need. If PSG is asking for 20, 30, 40, 50 million as compensation for Pochettino, give him that and bring him. We are still 26 games in the league with FA Cup, Champions League still in the hunt. We can still get them. Yes, maybe some people might think that I'm going crazy and saying like Champions League and Premier League and FA Cup still are possibility given the performances that Manchester United have had in the recent past. But to be very honest, to be very frank, we have a really good favorable run of fixtures for the next 15 to 16 weeks. We can definitely win at least 12 to 13 of them. I'm being very frank. We need a manager who can build tactics here. There's nothing changed. I saw the game against Villarreal. There's nothing changed, and it was never bound to. The coaching was still being done by Carrick and their coaching staff. I can't remember the names. But did you ever think that it was ever going to change? No, because the coaching staff remained the same. We were lucky enough to get out of that game with a 2-0 victory. We could have easily been down 3-0 again at halftime. And that's how many times we've been through that in the last 1 month. Almost every game that we play, this is the first half analysis that we do. Yeah, if David De Gea wasn't there, we would have been 4-0 down. He's been the savior for all of the matches that we've been playing through. People keep on saying about, Ronaldo, and we'll talk about that. I know we'll talk about that later, but to talk about interim managers, man, I'm done with interim managers. We don't need an interim manager. We don't need an interim manager. We don't need anything. We are Manchester United, biggest football club in the world. We need to get our shit straight. We need to get the managers that we need in at the moment, in at the right time, so that we can salvage something from the season. Otherwise, it's just going to be the same thing that we're going to rebuild in the summer, and we'll start it from there. The squad is there. The manager who can come in at the moment. Look at you guys. You just did it. You fired Frank Lampard in January, and look what happened. You did not start the season well, but you ended the season on such a high note, and now look at you guys. You're thrashing Juventus. You're playing so well, and I'm actually scared with the game that we're going to talk about in the coming episode.
A long-term situation, a lot of talk going on, right? As in, it's midway through the season, not ideal for Manchester United, and definitely there are talks of course, Zidane, who's learning English. He's not ready yet, and that is why the interim manager talks have begun. But Luis Enrique, one of the preferred choices of Manchester United, apparently has said no today. I don't know how true it is, but yeah, that is one of the news. Brendan Rodgers, another option for Manchester United, as per reports, is certainly, just about clinging on to the Leicester job itself. So I don't know if he's the rat. Right man either, right? Again, there are other names like Ten Hag, who's in the middle of a crazy season at Ajax. He's doing great at Ajax, so I don't see any reason why he should come and hit his foot with his own other foot. But again, that's something that I think only he needs to say, but I believe he's interested. So among all these options, who do you think, what does your gut say that this is the person who's going to become long-term manager at Manchester United, and what would you prefer?
I don't think I have any preference. I already gave my names. Pochettino, Erik ten Hag, to me are the best possible suited managers from what I'm hearing and from what I'm reading. United board do not want managers like Jose Mourinho or Antonio Conte, who will challenge the board, who will demand more things from the board. I get that, all that stuff. They want a manager who will be the manager for Manchester United for at least 6 to 7, 8 years, right? That's what United's philosophy has always been, or always been is probably the wrong word, because we had a manager for about 25 years, 26 years there. But the funny thing that comes to my mind is they don't want a manager who is going to challenge the board, where they already had a manager like that for about 26 years at United.
No, obviously there was a talk about Ronaldo coming in wasn't Oli's choice, and Sancho also was more like a club signing, and they've been kind of following him for a while now. But don't you think like those are clearly excuses, right? I'm sure you would agree there. But it's just a matter of Oli and basically the coaching staff not getting right. Even like in the recent midweek game, right? It was clear to see that there is something more missing to Manchester United. So I don't know, like for me, it's kind of weird because getting an interim manager now, the interim manager and the team know that this is not going to be long term anyway. So what is going to be like key kind of objective for Manchester United this season? Like coming, say December, we have say an interim manager for Manchester United managing. What would he or she be told that okay, this is what you need to do for Manchester United this season as a minimum? Because even sacking the interim manager would be so funny, right? As in, I don't see any kind of pluses there. But anyway, what do you think is a basic expectation? And I know spent millions of kind of dollars and pounds over the years, but haven't won trophies for years either. So the pressure is on as well. It's Manchester United, after all, the biggest club in the world. We have to be realistic there, right?
I disagree.
I think realistically, we still have Champions League, Premier League, top four, and FA Cup still in sights for the season. That will be the expectation from the board. I think at least one trophy. If I'm telling you, if we get the right manager, if we get one manager who can build some tactics and they know how to play with Ronaldo and the attacking talent that United has, I think we can definitely win something this season. I think we have the squad. We can definitely win something. It's just that the coaching staff or Oli could not actually figure anything out. And I'm not going to blame everything on Oli, and I'm not going to sit here and bash Oli over here either. It's just there were things that he was trying to do. It's just this Ronaldo thing just got in the way because he was going to this other club called Manchester City, and United board actually got frazzled. That how can Ronaldo, our prodigy, our player, can go and play for Manchester City? They just signed him, and I guess like Oli couldn't figure it out, like how he wanted to play him, and that's up to him. I'm gonna blame him that yes, and that's why, because I tell him, like, because I tell that, right, that he did not have the coaching potential, he did not have the coaching experience, and that's why he failed. If he would have gone through his own things and how he was thinking, yeah, I still think that we could have done a better job than what we have been doing in the past 12 weeks.
Well, let's get to the game, the big game on Sunday. First and foremost, on a serious note, do you really think that it's really a blessing in disguise for Manchester United to be playing away at Stamford Bridge? Because the crowd, if in case Carrick's team doesn't do well again after that big loss against Watford in the Premier League, I'm sure the crowd of Manchester would have been crazily behind in terms of, really booing, etc. and at Manchester United players and the coaching staff, right? So it is really a blessing in disguise, don't you think so? And again, we have spoken about the 12th man of Manchester, Anthony Taylor, being there certainly helps. But again, that's something that we cannot do anything. And of course, there's always people in the commentary box, right? As in Paul Scholes of the likes, as in he believes that Manchester United have a better defense than Chelsea.
What? Yeah, talking about the game, as I've been saying all week, I just don't want another annihilation. That's it. That's all I'm expecting. I know it's going to be a big L in front of Manchester United. I just don't want another annihilation. That's it. That's all I'm expecting from the game. I'm gonna sit on my couch just praying that they score one goal at least. That's it. Even if we lose 3-1, I'm okay with that. But I want them to be in the game. I don't want this defensive lapses. I don't want the midfield to be, lethargic. I don't want McFred to play. I want some fire from Sancho, from Van de Beek, from Ronaldo. I want to see some combination. And if it doesn't happen, if Mendy turns out to be, that savior for you guys and saves a bunch of shots from Ronaldo or from Sancho or from Bruno, and the defense, as you just mentioned, is class at the moment for me. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. Like I'll keep repeating myself, but I just don't want another annihilation. I cannot keep on seeing 4 goals, 5 goals shipped against United. I'm personally hurt. I'm done with that. I don't know what Paul Scholes is saying. I think definitely United's defense is a little bit better because Harry Maguire is not going to play. That's for sure. But come on, don't compare it. Don't even compare United's defense to Watford. Come on, to Norwich. When we've been worse than Norwich at the moment, they've actually had more points in the last 2 months than us. So you cannot compare United's defense with Chelsea. I know, like, even when I was previewing it on my channel, I asked a question when Varane signed, who is the best centre back pairing in the Premier League, and Chelsea's defense was not even in the question. It was about Liverpool, United, and City, and I never even answered, and I never even asked the question about Chelsea. So what Chelsea's defense is doing, what Tuchel's doing at the moment is brilliant. The fullbacks have been scoring a lot of goals. They've been creating a lot of chances for the Chelsea's attackers as well. We all know for the last 2-3 years, to be very honest, the forward line doesn't score that much for Chelsea. It's always been the defensive who's been coming up with all these scores. But hey, if that is the play that Tuchel plays, be it, man. I would love it. I would love those players in my United team and play like that.
Now let's look at the historical head-to-heads. Historically speaking, in the Premier League, surprisingly, it is almost a 50-50, like neck-to-neck competition. I know Chelsea, Manchester United are the 2 biggest clubs in the EPL, as in put in Manchester City in recent years, but I think historically speaking, the Premier League, you would agree. Arsenal, ManCity are close by, but it's Manchester United and Chelsea. But surprisingly, it's Chelsea has won 18 and Manchester United won 17. So again, almost there. The reason it surprised me is because I know that the first 15 years were dominated by Manchester United, the last 15 years by Chelsea, so as to speak comparatively. But again, in the last 15 years, I know Manchester United had a few very good games against Chelsea. So that was a little bit surprising for me. But again, that's something that you cannot really bank on. Recently, it's been crazily terrible for Chelsea. 5 games, yes, last 5 Premier League games, we have just drawn, I think, thrice and lost the other 2. Yes, we are not having any wins, especially in the last 5 games. But even more importantly, we are not having any wins. Yes, winless in the last 7 games against Manchester United in the Premier League. Yes, we have beaten them a couple of times in the FA Cup, but that's about it. It's really bad. In fact, like the last 4 times that we have played Manchester United in the Premier League, it's been goalless as well. Yes, we haven't been able to score from Chelsea's side. So something's got to give, right? As in, again, Tuchel, he's had the kind of record in England already that anyone will be envious of. He's beaten every great manager out there in the Premier League, even outside the Premier League, like we did in the Champions League last season, right? And even this season, like we did midweek again. Just a reminder, Allegri.
Nice.
But again, coming back to Tuchel, like he has not beaten Manchester United, period. Something has got to give. Wow, that's some stat in itself. But Rishabh, I would like to ask you, in terms of the tactical battles, talking about the manager, which will be the 2 most key battles that you think on the pitch will determine the result of this particular match? For me, if you ask me, really, Chelsea's wing play has been key. So it'll be one of the wing backs, and obviously I'll pick Reece James because he is the man in form. Wow, the best right back in the world. Anyone? Do comment below what do you think. Better than Trent, right? On form at least.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
And the second one, possibly, I don't know, Chelsea's floating striker, and that's something that the rigid Manchester United defense will not be able to cope up with. Now, stay tuned for a couple of interesting facts. This kind of was mind boggling when I read it. First of all, Ronaldo, yes, the Ronaldo, the GOAT, hasn't scored in the Premier League against Chelsea in all these years. Second stint, he still hasn't scored. 10 games and he hasn't scored against Chelsea. Yes, the only goal that he scored against Chelsea ever in all competitions was in the Champions League. The Chelsea fans don't want to remember 2008 Moscow. Anyway, moving on. Yes, I think that's the longest run that Ronaldo has had against any club, in fact, right? You know, that he's not scored in the Premier League. Has something got to give there as well. Interesting. But the second one is even more interesting because Chelsea, in the past, whenever we've been league leaders, we have played Manchester United, I think, 4 times. And out of those 4 times, we have beaten Manchester United thrice. And on all those 3 occasions, we have gone on to win the title. Can we do that a 4th time? Let's see. Very interesting, right?
Interesting question. 2 key battles. For me, it definitely has to be how United play through in the midfield. I know for a fact that Kante is not playing. I'm guessing Kante is not playing this game. He got subbed off. I don't know how serious his injury is at the moment, but I know like Chilwell is definitely out with an ACL injury up until like January. That's what I've heard. That's what I read this morning. Definitely. So one thing I would definitely say, I want to see like how, because of Kante now missing, I want to see how United actually like play in the midfield, because that's been one of the areas that we've been again lacking for quite a while. But I am hopeful now that Oli is gone and his rigidity is gone with not playing Van de Beek. I think he will play Van de Beek, and I've been on record and saying that McTominay should probably sit out this game, probably play Van de Beek in place of him, and then Bruno up top. And I want to see like how Sancho actually fits with the other one, Alonso, I guess. Yeah. So Marcus Alonso. I know that Alonso actually tries to play a lot up front, more like a striker as well. So maybe that space can be exploited. He played really well. This last game against Villarreal, I really felt like he deserved the goal as well. Would like to see when he gets that space, when he gets that opportunity, how he would like to, how he delivers those, those balls within the box. And obviously, yeah, man, anybody that has Cristiano Ronaldo in their team, they have to talk about him. And you mentioned a great stat. I did not even know about that. Like, he hasn't scored in 10 Premier League games against Chelsea. Maybe this is the chance. But as I mentioned earlier, man, like the defense of Chelsea is crazy. I'm not expecting him to score again. Definitely not through an header. Maybe probably an open goal through his ridiculous foots as well, through his right or left foot. But definitely not expecting a header from him and what he scored against you guys in 2008 Moscow Champions League finals. Let's see what happens. But again, as you mentioned, again, the one other position that you mentioned was Reece James. Man, I wouldn't go ahead and say that he's the best right back in the world at the moment. I still feel there is still a long way to go before we can say that. But he's definitely playing like one. So he can definitely exploit us. And with the way Luke Shaw is playing, I think that can definitely happen. And that can be one of the positions that Chelsea can exploit us for sure.
But yeah, let's not talk about ifs and buts. Let's talk about the facts, because yes, fitness has been an issue for both the teams. And I think for Chelsea, we all know a lot of fitness issues coming through. Ben Chilwell, the bad news that we got, he's having an ACL injury and will be out for at least a couple months, if not more, possibly till the end of the season. Very bad. So obviously Alonso needs to step in at least for now. Long run, let's see. We will probably be releasing another video about that in the future, so stay tuned for that. But what do you do about midfield? N'Golo Conte, he's injured. He was injured in midweek, right? So I don't see him featuring either. Havertz, he's had some kind of issue in his hamstring, so again, will not be risked because it's a busy period coming up. So why risk him, especially when Timo Werner and of course Romelu Lukaku are kind of fit again. So and Pulisic of course. So why use Havertz? And I think Kovacic, I was hoping that he would be fit. In the last video, I did talk about it in the last preview rather, but I don't see him being fit either. Again, we are recording this before Tuchel's presser, so these are more like calculated assumptions, and of course going by reports that we have, the latest news. So with these players missing for Chelsea, easily, the team kind of picks itself. I'm not saying that Saul etc. will play. That's not what I mean. Nothing against Saul, but again, in terms of the team, exactly speaking, Mendy again starts in between the sticks. And back, I think three at the back, I would start with Azpilicueta. I'll tell you why in a minute, because at centre back, I will have Christensen. Now, in the last review video, we did kind of talk about briefly why Christensen wasn't picked against Juventus, and Silva, despite traveling internationally, played back-to-back matches. So I don't see him playing a third back-to-back match. That's for sure. Even if Christensen is having some issues in his contract, which I don't think so is really true. But let's see, So I will definitely have Christensen back. Not ideal against the Manchester United because Silva would have been better. But again, Silva's kind of run in the last 2-3 weeks has been hectic. That save against Juventus, wow, what a clearance. But again, he's human. So I would have Christensen. And because Christensen is there, I need some kind of experience at the backs, and that is why Chalobah, despite that almost man of the match performance against Juventus, I would actually have Azpilicueta play. And Tuchel has done that in the past. Remember Christensen scored against Malmo his first ever goal, and same thing with Chalobah scoring his first ever Champions League goal. So maybe he'll just drop them. That's what he exactly did last time for Christensen, and I can see that happening. And we have many games anyway for Chalobah. In midweek, I think we are playing against Watford. Left centre back, Rudiger always plays. Continue with him. Left wing back, again, Alonso needs to definitely come in for this game. I don't see Azpilicueta playing there because of what he did in midweek, but it was more because of saving Alonso, I believe. And right wing back, Reece James, the man of the hour. And at central midfield position, I would definitely finally have Ruben Loftus-Cheek. He has been waiting to start. All my previews have Ruben Loftus-Cheek starting, not like I'm a stan. Obviously, I like Kovacic. He's not available. Loftus-Cheek is the closest and obviously has that strength which we need in midfield against Manchester United if in case they play Matic, for example. And the second central midfielder obviously will be Jorginho, with Kante being out and Kovacic being out and Saul, yes, being on the bench. Barkley, no. Against Manchester United, no. Sorry, I know he's not been playing, but yeah, that's how it goes. Up front, I would just continue. Yes, keep it consistent. 4-0 victory against Juventus doesn't come every day. Pulisic is back from injury, build up more confidence and fitness. I know he didn't have a great game, but can't judge him in 90 minutes. It was a new position for him. A floating striker against maybe a Bailly would probably work for me. And I think Werner, as much as he has a pace, I think a low block Manchester United is what I'm expecting. So I don't see Werner kind of, being a fit to begin. So that's why I'll have Pulisic, and beside him, obviously, Ziyech and Hudson-Odoi. They're having something going between them.
That is brand new information!
Again, footballing wise, but again, great play by both of them midweek, and I hope it continues. Hudson-Odoi especially, wow, what a run of form he is, and I hope that just continues and continues. But again, coming to Manchester United, Rishabh, could you please enlighten us with what the team news would be? Any injuries, and going with that injuries and form, of course, would you kind of pick Bruno? What's your starting 11?
Yeah, so for Manchester United, I think Greenwood might be back. I think he tested positive for coronavirus. So depending upon when he got into isolation, I think he might be back for Chelsea. Paul Pogba is still out. Varane is still out. But he might be returning a little bit earlier than Pogba. I think Pogba is still out for another month or so. Cavani is still definitely out. Luke Shaw has a concussion. Not sure if he's going to be back. And then we're all happy about Harry Maguire being out for this game as well, because he got red carded in the previous game. So he's definitely out. For me, the playing 11 definitely has to be with if Luke Shaw doesn't play, I'm very happy. Trust me, I'm very happy with that. Alex Telles can definitely fill up his role. I really feel Lindelof and Bailly will be the two centre backs. Then Van Bissaka as the right back. David De Gea obviously keeps in goal. For me, the preference would be to play Matic and Van de Beek. Matic as the proper CDM who sticks to that position, and unlike McTominay and Fred who keeps roaming all over the pitch, I would go with Matic for this position for this game. Just based on the fact that I'm not really sure at the moment if Werner and Lukaku are going to start for this game. Just covering that, like I think we need someone who can actually tackle those things when Chelsea attacks. So I really feel Matic should be the one. And then in attack, I think we can have Bruno as the cam, left winger as Rashford, Ronaldo as a striker, and then right wing should be Sancho. And then we can maybe substitute him and get Greenwood in depending on where the game is going. But I think Van de Beek, Bruno, Rashford, Ronaldo, and Sancho can impact the game really well. I saw the game against against Watford, and I feel like for me, Van de Beek was the man of the match. The way he kind of played in that midfield. I'm not really a fan of having Van de Beek playing as the central attacking midfielder like he played yesterday, replacing Bruno. Definitely not a replacement for Bruno. I think we still need Bruno for that quality passes, for that quality balls that he provides in the final third of the pitch. But that's going to be my playing 11.
Talking about the form, Manchester United, Rishabh, I have to remind you, you have literally just won one game the last 5 in EPL. In fact, last 7 in all competitions, you have just won a couple of times. And compare that to basically Chelsea, who have just had one blip, and that blip was just that one draw against Burnley, and we dominated that game as well. Not showing off, but just the facts again, right? But I don't want to jinx it, right? So the form is what it is, but what do you think is going to happen? I know you had a great victory last time around against Spurs, and you see doing well against a big team again in Chelsea. What are your predictions, Rishabh?
Thank you for reminding me, Ankit, that we've only won 2 games in the last 7 in EPL. But I really feel like I think Spurs was an iffy game for me anyhow, given from what we were coming back into. I think if we had played Spurs even at this moment of time, we would have lost. I think we play Spurs on Sunday, we still lose against an Antonio Conte side who are relentless. I saw that game, and I don't know, we're not here to talk about Conte, but I guess I saw that game and I was like impressed with how the work rate of Harry Kane. He's been abysmal to watch this season, to be very honest. But coming back to the game, I think I can definitely see Chelsea winning this game. Goal scorers for me, I think I can easily see Rashford scoring in this game. That one goal that I'm talking about, I think Rashford can definitely be on the score sheet for me. You can expect, as I mentioned, if Carrick plays that team that I just said in the playing 11, I think we can have a good game. I think really we can have a good game if we can just kind of get some sense into our defense that this is what your responsibilities are in the team, and don't go and just go ahead and attack and try to play as a team. I think we can have a good game, but don't see United winning still.
Interesting. For Chelsea, what I would expect is we definitely turn up for this game. I can see us beating Manchester United 3-1 because Manchester United need the points on the board. Yes, they are 8th, remember. So they need points. They need to go for that win. It cannot just be a draw for me. I know draw will not be bad at Stamford Bridge in a general context. But in overall context of the season, I think Manchester United could be dragged below the European spots. And they don't want to do that with the new manager coming in, right? So I can see them going for a win, and that'll help us kind of, get those goals from wing backs, yes, but this time I'll go with Alonso. Alonso gets a goal for sure, and he is a great scoring wing back. And Pulisic, I called it in the last episode as well, did not come right, but I think Pulisic will get it right this time around. And one of the bench in Lukaku. Yes, Lukaku comes late and scores that winner against Manchester United, his old club. Interesting that, right? And for Manchester United, I can see Cristiano Ronaldo breaking his duck against Chelsea. Finally, some consolation. So yes, 3-1 to Chelsea. And I hope you all agree with it. Do comment below. Who are your starting 11s? Who do you think would be scoring in this game? And what would be the score predictions from you? And who do you think is going to become Manchester United manager as well? Very interesting to read those comments. But thanks for watching. Thanks to Rishabh for coming on the Late Winner Show again. Shout out to the channel. Please go subscribe to the Late Winner Show. The link is below, as well as to Almighty Blues FC. And again, thanks for 600, and we can double it in a couple months. Come on, let's do that, right? So, yes, Rishabh, over to you. Please go ahead and let us know what your channel is all about, apart from what I already said, and any final thoughts about the game, about Manchester United or Chelsea.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm just hoping to be sitting and enjoying the game. I just don't want, as I said, I keep repeating this, but I just don't want another annihilation. I just feel the game should be good. Even if United loses, they should lose in a respectable way and not get, just thrashed 4-5-0. That's all. That's the final thoughts on the game. I hope that we don't get thrashed. But yeah, I'm Rishabh. I'm Rishabh from the Late Winner Show. We do run a YouTube channel by this name. We do lots of content on EPL, the Bundesliga, the Serie A, La Liga, and the Liga. This season, we started covering all these leagues, and we also run an audio podcast by the same name, the Late Winner Show podcast. It's available on your favorite streaming platform, wherever you listen to your audio podcasts. But the channel is all about football. We all love football. We do run some fantasy Premier League videos as well. If you are interested in knowing what our thoughts are, we do our weekly shows on the channel as well, giving some great watch list, the differentials, and we reveal our team for our playing 11 for the upcoming week. So great, great, and loads of content that comes up on our Instagram and Twitters as well. Just opinionated stuff. So yeah, if you do like what our channel is doing, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe to the Late Winner Show. Shout out to the Almighty Blues FC as well. I think they're doing great content on Chelsea itself. I am a regular subscriber. I'm a regular watcher. I'm a regular watcher of their channel. Good content, great panelists, great host. What's not to like about it? Thank you, Ankit, and good night, everyone.
You got it, dude.
Again, thank you. Pleasure to have you, Rishabh. I hope this is first of many. And yes, for all of you out there, do smash that like button. As I said, subscribe, hit that bell notification icon, and we will be back with more content for this weekend and more. So stay tuned and take care. Up the Chels. Come on.